What's going on, Show Nation? It's Movie with Movie Gaming TV, and in today's video, I'm going to react to all of the new Field of Dreams content. I've seen a little bit of it on my timeline, but in this video, I'm just going to give you my initial reactions to all the stuff going on. We also had a patch for sinkers. So sinkers, apparently, if they're high in the zone or like middle in the zone, they look more like a fastball. I definitely want to see how that's looking, and we'll take a look at that in this video. We're also going to take a look at the new Field of Dreams field. I'm very interested to see how that turned out, and we're going to pick that up and we're going to take a look at that. So that should be interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about the World Series rewards. We might start off with that because we got some awesome cards yesterday with the World Series rewards. You can see Max Meyer on the screen as well. We also have a new headliner card. Max Meyer was taken, I believe, like third or second in the draft by the Marlins. I think the Royals took like Asa Lacy in that draft. I think it was like either last year's draft or the draft before. I'm not exactly sure, but Max Meyer is going to be in the game as well. One programming note: so we were going to do a series where basically I was going to call it like I have every card in the game, and you guys and gals out there can pick who is on my team, right? But now the problem is we just got such a huge amount of content that it doesn't even really make sense right now. So we might have to push that back till later on. So what I think I'm going to do is, I mean, there's a ton of different cards that we can debut for those kind of videos. And then we're always going to have like those tips and tricks videos. Make sure you check out that stub making one too. I honestly want you to make tons and tons and tons of stubs, and there's a lot of people making tons of stubs. You can get whatever card you want. Just check out that video to be able to do that. Anyways, I think we're gonna push that series off for a little bit because, like I said, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. But what we'll do is we'll keep uploading, you know, maybe some debuts, some tips. Like I said, we'll stream a lot of this over on Twitch too. So if you don't follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/MovieGamingTV, if you'd like to follow over there. All right, let's go ahead and get into it and start reacting. Like I said, I think the first place I'm going to start with Francisco Lindor. Like this Lindor card, I honestly feel like he could have been in place of Mookie Betts. Like this feels like a card they were thinking about putting for where Mookie Betts is, because it's stacked. It's stacked across the board. It's got a lot of power. Now, someone on stream yesterday, they asked me, how do you feel about this card in comparison to Wander Franco? Because Wander Franco is very, very good. They're very, very similar. They're both switch hitters. They both have a really good swing. I like Lindor a little bit more because he has more power. So I do like that a little bit more. I'll take away a little bit of the speed. I think his fielding's still really good. This is a card that's going to be in your lineup so much that you probably get it to parallel 5. So you actually can look at that. Like sometimes I think it's like we think about parallel 5 like it's just like that easy, but it does take a little bit of time. But this card would be really worth it because now we're talking 105 power, almost 100 power versus left. That's going to play up. What's crazy to me too is like Mike Trout, I believe, only has like 92 to 96 power versus lefties, but he hits still a ton of home runs versus lefties. Plus he's gonna have 115 contact. Contact's gonna go up. That arm strength's gonna go up to 88. His like fielding and reaction is gonna be maxed out. He's gonna have 79 speed. I do really, really like this card. Second base, third base, wherever you want to play him, it's gonna be solid. Now, also, we have Justin Verlander, who becomes even better after this patch. He was already going to be pretty good before, but now he becomes even better because he's got outlier on that fastball. He's got a 12-6 circle, a slider, and a cutter. He's got really, really good pitches. So he's really, really solid. Now, what I would do is if you make the World Series, I would take Francisco Lindor just because you could like put him at shortstop or second or third. And then also Justin Verlander, what I do is I pick him up once you get 40 wins. They're both pretty expensive. If you want to sell them and get like a huge stub come up, you could do that. But also with that video I said about how to flip, which I'll link at the end of this video, like you really can collect the cards and just kind of sell cheaper cards and flip to get whatever card that you want. So if you don't feel like you're going to be able to get to 40 wins or get to the World Series or what have you, you can always just flip to pick up these cards however you'd like to go about it. I think that's what I'll probably do is I'll probably select this at World Series, and once I get 40 wins, I'll probably take the Justin Verlander unless they go way down in price. It's tough to say how far these are going to go down in price. Some of them, like this Bryce Harper's been out for a while. He's actually dropped quite a bit in price now that we got some other content. But like you can see, like him and Kenley are still kind of like staying up there for quite a bit. It's kind of hitting the point in the year where cards, yes, there's a lot more of them, but they kind of stay up in value because they're so good at the same time. So We'll have to see a little bit of. I just don't think like Bryce Harper. I mean, it's possible, but I don't feel like Bryce Harper is going to like 60K stubs anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the event itself. So if we go over to online, we go to the events. Here's basically what you got in the event. I'm going to read this because I'm in the way, but it's Chicago White Sox players, New York Yankees players, any legend players or common players, 3-inning games, difficulties on All-Star. Stadium luck is Field of Dreams. You don't have to have the stadium to play in it, but I'm going to show you how to get the stadium as well. So for the event rewards, this glove looks crazy. I've never seen this glove before from Rollins. I'm kind of interested on what the stats look like for your creative player. We also got the Legend Bat Skins. I really like how these look also. I use them a little bit at the beginning of the year. I guess I kind of like a little bit of maybe like this one, like that kind of like shade. I kind of like that one because I think I have more of a darker one or something like that from a Jackie Robinson collection or something. So maybe I'll go with like this one. I think it looks pretty clean. I really liked using that bat skin at the beginning of the year too. It's something about it. It looks really nice. I got the GOAT bat skin, so I'll probably roll with that. But I'll probably take something like that out of there. Headliners, which is Machado. This is like 2 random headliners, by the way. 5 Ballin is a habit packs. And then here's DJ LeMahieu, 104, 125, 75, 100. This card reminds you a lot of DJ LeMahieu's Show's Finest card. And you can see it's a Silver Slugger from 2019. So it's basically that same card. It's very, very similar to that card. Pretty cool because you can get them up to Diamond Defense at second base if you get them paralleled up. Now, some people really like to use this card. He's actually kind of nice at second base because it's so tall that he can catch a lot of those, line drives over his head. You can also play him at first or third. For me personally, I really don't like to use this card. For whatever reason, I don't play that well with it. It doesn't have like a ton of power versus right. Some people really like to use this card though, so by all means. And plus, it's another card that's an award. So if you're trying to get the Mookie Betts, it's just another card that you can add to the rewards. And these event cards usually go for more once the event's over also. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you want to get it and hold on to it, it usually goes for more. I have a feeling a lot of people will be playing this event though. So we'll have to see how that goes. Plus, it's going to be easier and easier to do the Betts collection. But you look at a card like Asdrubal Cabrera or trying to think Nick Markakis. Those cards like kind of went through the roof. It's kind of what happens with event cards sometimes because they get pretty rare to get in a way. Now, this Lucas Giolito has really good H per 9, K per 9. He's got a 4-seam, a circle, a slider, and a 12-6. This card, it reminds me a lot of basically last year in MLB The Show 20. They had like a Topps Now flash pack. They used to do this a little bit where like if someone had like a no-hitter, they put out like a card that was in like a pack for free. And eventually the card would just go away, but you could still sell it. So that's basically what this Giolito card is. I'm not really too wild by his control or his break. I mean, it's actually pretty good and pretty balanced across the board. So I should say that, but I just really don't feel like this is a card that I'm going to use because he doesn't really throw that hard of a fastball. Just really not that great. This is really more of a card that you could go through this event and now you got a Giolito that you can put into the milestone collections. If you want to use them too, big White Sox fan, go for it. But for me, these cards to me are more of either you go through and sell them to someone that wants them, or you go through and get them and just kind of collect them. So that's kind of what I feel on those. Kitchen Sink 1 and 2, they do have a lot of awards. They've got a lot of Prime, and they got some SIG series, and they got milestones. So there's a variety of stuff in here that you can get for those collections. And the same with this one as well. The same with the Kitchen Sink 2-pack. It's got a lot of the same stuff. So both of these packs probably worth your time to pick up because they've got some like good stuff for the Mookie Betts that you can hit really in either round to make some decent stubs. So if you want to keep pushing on past 30 wins, you're going to get 10 packs and more stuff, and then eventually 20 packs at 50 wins to knock it out. Now, personally, I like playing events a lot. It's pretty relaxed. It's pretty chill, so I do like playing it. I might go to the 50 wins. I mean, your rewards aren't like incredible, but at the same time, like, hey, more cards to collect, which I like. Because 2 new content cards probably can put out some stuff along the way. I just like playing on All-Star. I like playing these events. So it's definitely something I'm going to be looking to do a lot of. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the program. So if you go over to the programs, you go to the player programs, you go to Field of Dreams. That is the new program here. At one program point, you are going to get the Field of Dreams field, which I'm going to unlock in this video so we can go like hop into a game, look at it, look at the elevation, all that kind of stuff. You get the White Sox jerseys, and as well as these New York jerseys. I like those New York jerseys actually quite a bit. Those look pretty tough. Get like the nameplates right here. More Legend Bat Skin packs. Get a Tom Henke Prime, which sometimes he can be kind of deceptive. Let's see if he's got Outlier. He does not have Outlier on this card, but he does throw like 99. He's got a 92 mile an hour forkball and a slider. This card can be a little tricky at times. I don't know if it's necessarily one that you need to have in your bullpen because there's a lot of really good righties. There's actually a huge lack of really good lefties in the bullpen right now, in my opinion. But it's an interesting one to pick up. You know, good like 25 gear in a program type of card. Moving on, we got another 42 pack. If you're looking to get Jackie, these would probably be going down. You know, they're at the 15 to 20 range. This is actually a really good time. You know, 15 to 20 range is a good time. If you haven't gotten Jackie yet, you want to pick him up, it's a good time to like go ahead and pick him up. Brooks Robinson, 105, 113, 87, 78, 99 defense across the board. It's a interesting card just because, I mean, he's got the, you know, every defensive third baseman gets compared to Brooks Robinson because he just was that guy at third base defensively. You get the speed a little bit up, get the hitting a little bit up. He's kind of that more contact gap hitter. You know who this card reminds me a lot of? They play different positions, but it's almost like Pudge Rodriguez. It's like Pudge Rodriguez, but at third base. So if you kind of like that like line drive type of hitter to the gaps, occasional home run, really good defense, not that great of speed. You got Brooks Robinson for you. I don't know if I really use this card just because of how many dang cards I have in the game, but it's always cool seeing him. This is like definitely a card I'm looking forward to collecting. Maybe use him like from time to time randomly in events. Not gonna make my rank squad, but I would like to use him like in events just for fun and stuff like that. All right, so we got a Field of Dreams pack, and this pack is loaded. This pack is loaded. All right, so you got a 1-in-1 base, 1-in-10 rare. All right. I'm trying to think if he's in the rare round. It doesn't look like Bryant's in the rare round because he'd be far more expensive. All right, so we basically have 1, 2, 3 in our rare, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in our other side here. It looks like we got a prime, a sig, a milestone, and an award. So all these are gonna help you out in the Mookie, and then we got 3 on top. First of all, my Piazza is just crazy. 116, 125, 113, 119, 103 vision. Look at the fielding that you can get up to gold and a 79 arm and 90 block. You can also get him with the 50 speed. This is like an end game catcher for sure. This is definitely an end game catcher. We've got some good catchers in the game now. You know, Perez, JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber. This Piazza to me is probably on top of all of them just because he's so well balanced. I even like I've been using the tops now like Sebi Zavala because I like his swing a lot. So I've been using him, but this Piazza is the top notch. She's going for only 120 and 137, so it's not even too bad. Price wise, I know you might have like you can get like some good grind catchers, but this is like he's really good. That's solid because the power versus left is going to go up to 124. He's going to have like almost max contact both sides, 118. Like, it's an immortal type of card. It's probably better than his immortal. I'm not even going to, because I was listening to like Cougs and Scuffy's podcast when I was walking yesterday, and they were talking about how like some of the immortals, the cards that we get now are like even better than the immortals. Like, just like number for number, they're better. So just something to consider. All right, Lefty Grove, 101, 108. I'm not too hype about his H per 9 and K per 9 where I'm just like trying to get the best cards possible. I don't really know if he's in there for me. I really don't like his I'm not a big fan of like the old timey motions. I know motions really don't matter as much as pinpoint now. here's what he's going to be. He's the Joe Morgan of pitchers. He's a pitcher that I don't like to pitch with, but I'm gonna face him and I'm gonna have all kinds of problems. So that's really what he is. I don't like to pitch with him. I'm not gonna enjoy facing him. He does have outlier, by the way. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. He does have outlier, so he really has that hard fastball. The curveball and the changeup look pretty slow in comparison. He's got the slider and the cutter. This is probably the best version, or one of the best versions we've seen of Lefty Grove, just based kind of on his pitches that he has and stuff like that. I don't know. It is a lower H per 9, K per 9 like that. It's not one. There's a big difference between like 101 and like 125. There really is a big difference there. But, maybe he's for you. I would just not take him. I would definitely take Piazza over Lefty Grove. Or I would take this Mike Schmidt. Now, Mike Schmidt, a lot of people don't like his swing, but you got to keep in mind his swing is technically 4 frames. All the swings are 4 frames. You're going to find ones that you like more than others. So that's the other thing. This is a very, very good third baseman, and he also has a secondary of shortstop, and he will have diamond fielding at shortstop as well. 125 power versus right. I like this card a lot more at parallel 5 though, because I need all the contact I can get versus right. I want all that contact, like at least to 100, you know what I mean? So it gets up to 98, which is pretty close. But his fielding just gets pretty dang close to maxed out. He gets a good amount of speed at third base as well. He also can play first base, so he's got like a lot of positional versatility. This is a very, very good card. For Mike Schmidt, but out of these 3, I just like Piazza the most because his hitting's just ridiculous. So I do like him the most. I'd say Mike Schmidt number 2 and Lefty Grove number 3 for me. Now this Chris Bryant is ridiculous too. This Chris Bryant was just built to be parallel 5 because he hits 100 and 1 on the contact, and he hits 100 on the power versus right. Plus he gets 125 power versus left and 111 contact versus left. That's amazing. He gets up to 91 defense for his fielding. He gets his reaction up to 87, decent enough arm, and 79 speed. It's really a really solid card. Really solid card that only goes for like 10,000. You know what I mean? Like this is a very, very good card. Probably would select him out of that. Lou Brock, lots of speed. They've got his power numbers lower, 70 and 67. He used to get like a lot of power versus right, which actually makes him pretty glitchy, but he's got a really good swing in the game. Just if you kind of like that speedier type of player, I guess a player that you could compare Lou Brock to. He's not quite as good as this, but he's got that Trey Turner type of feel where he's super fast. He's got a good swing. Like when he hits the ball to the gap, he's like standing on third. So it's something to consider. And again, these are a lot of cheap options to help you out with the Mookie Betts too. Jim Palmer, really just a pass for me. H per 9, K per 9, really not there. Just a collectible. I don't feel like we need a deep dive too much into him. Just a collectible. Nothing too special there. Now, Konerko's swing play is really, really good. There's just so many first basemen. I feel like at this point, like you're going to be playing like Prince Fielder from doing Team Affinity 3 or something like that. This is a good card, though. It is. I mean, I don't know why you get it at parallel 5, but he actually is a little bit underrated. Like if you need to use him for whatever reason. And then Dellin Betances, let's see what outlier he has. I feel like he does not have outlier, but he's like 6'8", so he's like really tall, kind of difficult to pick up. Not the worst card in the world if you had to throw him in your bullpen. He only has like the 4-seam and the slurve, so I'm not too high on that. See what the break is on the 2-seam. He's got like not very much control or break on that 2-seam, so it's not going to do too much. I would probably pass on this. The card I would want out of this is Chris Bryant and Lou Brock. Those are the 2 cards I'd want. And then these 3, more collections. Like I said, there's a lot of good right-handed relievers that you're going to want to build with. These are more just to toss into the collections, in my opinion. But overall, really cool pack for the Field of Dreams. Now we got Felix Hernandez right here with the change of the 4-seam, the sinker, the slurve, and the cutter. 120, 110. The sinker getting nerfed hurts him a little bit. It's interesting how he has his pitch mix too. I would have preferred the sinker to be at the top. I'm not really sure how this card's going to play. This card is probably going to play, in my opinion, it's probably going to play a lot like how Lance Lynn does. So if you like Lance Lynn, let's see what his control is. He's got 99 on the sinker and the four seam, decent enough on the slurve and the cutter, and good on the changeup. Good break on the sinker, four seam, slurve, cutter. This car reminds me a lot of Lance Lynn. It really does. Good per nines, but he just really doesn't have the overpowering velocity that you might be looking for. So I feel like he's going to be good, but not great if I'm just giving a fair, honest review. So it's going to be a cool card. I can't wait to collect him and try him out, but that's kind of like how I feel like he's going to roll. And then Roberto Clemente for free at the very end. It's going to be awesome to have this card. Max contact both sides. You can get that power up. They pretty much made him exactly how I thought they were going to make him. I thought he would be a lot like Jackie Robinson with the less speed. And he also has like a little bit better fielding. So he's got that contact on both sides. Parallel 5, he goes 89, and then he gets a 93. He also has decent enough speed. See, there's one thing in this game that, in my opinion, not a lot of people are talking about. I don't know if it's just placebo or what, but it feels different to me. And I really feel like the fielding and the reaction almost matters more than the speed this year. It's very strange, but it just feels like they glide a lot naturally. It's almost like when they are a good fielder in the outfield, it's almost like they get like a perfect break and they get to the ball faster. I don't know what it is, because, I mean, speed still matters, but his fielding's ridiculous, especially if you had the 99 with the 99 reaction, and then you're going to have that speed up as well. He's going to get to everything, so don't worry too much about his speed rating being low. If not only just maybe for more like the offensive side, he's going to be able to hold it down. I feel like they just made it so if you had if you're like Teoscar Hernandez or like Trey Turner and you have like a lower fielding, I feel like you can feel it when you play. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm curious if anybody else feels that same way. But for years, it was more like, dude, the speed's more important than anything else because you can go track it down. But I really feel like I don't have any data to back it up, but I just feel like from playing the game, especially what the card I really noticed it was with that Ken Griffey Jr. card in events. And he's got really high fielding, but only 80 speed, but he was getting to everything. So I just feel like something changed this year in that regard, but maybe it's just me, but just let me know how you think. I think this card's going to be good at fielding. I like his swing. I like his contact. He's going to be really fun to use. I don't know how long he'll be my starter, but I definitely want to use this card because Roberto Clemente is just such an important figure in the history of baseball. And this will be a card that when I'm putting together events lineups and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to have him. So there we go. Roberto Clemente. All right, so what we're going to do at this point in time is I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do. I guess we can take a look at some of these missions. If you go to the player programs, let's take a look at some of these missions. But I'm going to knock out some of these missions so I can at least get this Field of Dreams so we can take a look at that. And then we're also going to take a look at what the slider looks like, or excuse me, what the sinker looks like post the patch. So here's some of the stuff. I'll just breeze through this really quickly. I'm not going to read each one of these, but you can kind of see what you need to do for those missions. There's also a showdown and a conquest. Here's what the conquest map looks like. Here's some of the goals that you need to do for the conquest map. Looks like you get a Field of Dreams bat for this as well. There's also a showdown, so you can get some progress. Looks like a decent amount of we got a boss right off the bat. Boss, final boss. I bet that's King Felix at the end too, I would imagine, right? So what I'm going to do, I think there's moments also. So if you go to single player and then you go to moments, and then you go to player programs, and then you go to Field of Dreams, you got a bunch of moments with Roberto Clemente. So I might knock out one of these real quick so that I can get some moment points to unlock the Field of Dreams. And let's go take a look at the Field of Dreams field, check out the elevation, and also check out the sinkers and everything like that. All right, so we got our first mission done for Roberto Clemente. Just had to get one hit. Pretty simple, which is always nice. I always kind of like when it's easier to get. We have unlocked the Field of Dreams field. A couple of other things that I want to note before we get into that is there is a Field of Dreams field pack that you can pick up. You get 5 of them for $30K. And also there's Max Meyer as well that you can pick up. And he's kind of interesting. 106, 102, 4-seam slider, changeup, sinker. Let's see his quirks as well. So he has he doesn't have outlier or anything like that, but he does have like a really fast fastball. I have no idea what his motion is like. This is a card that I'm actually gonna go put in an order and pick up because he's only 35k, so I'm gonna just go ahead and buy him. I recommend with these packs at 30k, honestly. I think the move with these kind of packs that are very expensive, really both of these, if you want to buy like one of the packs, I think that's the way to go. I would not go and necessarily buy all 5 of these because you might not hit on anything and now you're out like a ton. If you want to buy one of them, I think, and you don't hit, and you know they're going for 10,000 on the other side, so you lose 20,000. If you hit, you know, you're way over the top. You're almost like up to 100,000. But I really think like the move with this is just buy the cards out of the market that you want and maybe just open like one of each. You know, be careful opening up 5. That's all I'm going to say on those. I really don't buy too many of them. And if I ever do buy them, I don't know, I'll buy one of each, but that's usually what I do. You know, I don't buy like when the all-star packs come out or something like that. I don't open up a ton. So we'll go ahead and open up this. See, I didn't get anything from it. I'm done. We'll open up this. We got the base round. You know, that's 20k on the other side. We're going to take Chris Bryant from that. But be careful with opening up them. It's much better to go through and flip and just kind of buy them. Especially if like you want Piazza or you want Lefty Grove or you want Mike Schmidt. Opening up the packs is a lot more risky. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Field of Dreams field, and let's take a look at some of these sinkers and stuff like that. All right, so here we have the Field of Dreams field. It has a capacity of 7,911. It was opened in 1989. That's when the Field of Dreams movie came out. So let's go ahead and hop into this. Now, I did put this game on Hall of Fame. So when you go up to Hall of Fame, Legend, whatever, pitches are faster and they break more just in general. So I figured Hall of Fame's like a good test between All-Star and between Legend for us to be able to see how the pitches move. Something that I can show you real quick too. Well, let's throw our first like high sinker and see how it moves. Let's go ahead and throw this first high sinker. Looks a lot more straight, I gotta say. All right, so if you go over to here and you go to the game log, you can always go down here and we can take a look at the elevation, and you can see it has 951 feet of elevation. Let's go ahead and see if we can go into the replay if it tells us how far the dimensions of the field are. Nothing that really says that over there. We got this bullpen over here that looks pretty cool. This is like an October night game, by the way. We got this scoreboard over here. Doesn't look like there's gonna be like a ton. Like there's a decent amount of fans. Not sure what's over there. Like, I guess some kind of trailers or something. Looks like a decent amount of fans, but not too many fans. It's very much like what it reminds me of a lot is the amount of fans that are in Ship It. That's what it reminds me of a lot. Just a small amount of fans, no fans over here. And you can actually see like, whoa, you can see like the farmhouse or whatever right back there from the movie as well. That's pretty cool. It's got the custom batter's eye. I believe this is the only field with that batter's eye. It's got like the American flag, which looks cool. It's got like another scoreboard over here. Some more kind of like some like semi-truck trailers back there. As far as the dimensions, let's see if it says the dimensions in the game log. I'm not sure. Let's see what it says. The home plate umpire is Ed Drummond, by the way. That's the name of Pitching Rebels cap. I might have to tweet him about that. I never realized that's where he could have possibly got that from. Sorry, that's kind of off topic. Anyways, I don't really see the dimensions on how far it is. I might go look that up on Google real quick. Let's take a look at some more of these sliders. So that didn't break too much. Let's throw it up and in fastball now and see what that looks like. So I mean that's as straight as it can be. Let's take a look at another one of these sinkers in the same regard, in the same spot. It's got a little bit of break. Now this is one of my favorite pitches to throw. Is the sinker like right here, like middle in. It looks a lot more straight, I suppose. Let's go ahead and throw it again. It's like almost moving more like a cutter moves. Does that make sense? That had some good break to it, but it's almost moving more like a cutter. And I have no idea if they switched it just for online and not offline, but it's moving more like a cutter than kind of like to the side than it seems like it's moving. I wish I had a cutter on Cabrera, but I don't. Let me, I can't put it in Cliff Lee or anything, but let's see how this sinker looks over here. Now the sinker's low should still have some good amount of break. Let's see if we can toss one down here. Now the sinker from a righty back to a lefty, it doesn't have like a ton of break. It just like kind of looks funky. That one stay like, see, that can happen though. It can kind of stay in the middle. Let's see what this one looks like again. That one still has some pretty good movement. That one still has some pretty good movement, I gotta say. What I think is going to happen is when they did the patch like last time on pinpoint and even on the contact swinging, what it kind of does is like you can still pretty easily get a perfect, right? But I feel like what happens is instead of like you getting a perfect 95% of the time, right? Now you get it maybe more like 90, okay? And I feel like the sinker has less break, right? In certain situations. It'll still have that break from time to time, but it won't have as much of a consistent break up in the zone like it did before. So I think that's really what it is. Because when they usually make changes, they don't make like super drastic changes. They make like very incremental changes, and they check out what the data is, and they see if like they should go forward or back or if it's good. So that's kind of how I feel like that's going to go. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. This is a reaction to the content. We will be streaming a lot of these games over on Twitch, so if you want to check that out, be sure to check that out. Go follow over there. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Drop a like if you've been around the block, and check out one of the videos at the end. Check out that video on how to make stubs. Make a ton of stubs today, man. Make 200, 300K, 400K, and do it. It's easy. All right, I'm out, y'all. Peace.